She needs to move away from my store right now!
You need to step back.
Have you ever done something kind for a stranger without expecting anything in return? What if that one small act changed your life forever? On a cold and rainy evening in Boston, a single father and former Navy sailor made a decision that seemed ordinary at the time. He stood up for a woman being humiliated in public. He didn't know her name. He didn't know her story. And he certainly didn't know she was one of the wealthiest women in America. Before we begin, if you enjoy heartwarming stories about kindness, courage, and second chances, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Heartline Stories, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories to life. Michael Carter was a 38-year-old single father raising his 8-year-old daughter, Emma. Life had not been easy for him. After serving in the Navy for nearly 12 years, he returned home hoping for a peaceful future. Instead, he faced one challenge after another. His wife had passed away after a long illness, leaving him alone to care for Emma. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise, prepared breakfast, got his daughter ready for school, and then headed to work at a local shipping warehouse. Money was always tight, but Michael never complained. He believed that no matter how difficult life became, kindness should never disappear from a person's heart. One rainy evening after work, Michael stopped at a small coffee shop near the train station. He was exhausted after a long day and just wanted a warm cup of coffee before going home. As he waited in line, he noticed something happening near the entrance. An older woman stood quietly by the door. Her coat looked worn, and her hair was slightly messy from the rain. A group of well-dressed business people were standing nearby. One man rolled his eyes and spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. "If you can't afford coffee, maybe you shouldn't come in here." A few people laughed. The woman lowered her head. She looked embarrassed but remained silent. Most customers looked away. Nobody wanted to get involved. But Michael couldn't ignore what he was seeing. He stepped forward. "That's enough," he said firmly. The coffee shop suddenly became quiet. The businessman looked at him with annoyance. "This isn't your business." Michael nodded calmly. "Maybe not. But treating someone with respect should be everyone's business." The businessman scoffed and turned away. Michael then smiled at the woman. "Would you like to join me for a coffee?" The woman seemed surprised. "You don't have to do that." "I know," Michael replied. "I want to." A few minutes later, they sat at a small table by the window. The woman's name was Eleanor. As rain tapped softly against the glass, they talked for nearly an hour. Michael shared stories about his Navy days and his daughter. Eleanor listened carefully and smiled often. What surprised Michael most was how interested she seemed in his life. Many people usually ignored his struggles. But Eleanor listened as if every word mattered. Before leaving, she thanked him. "You reminded me that good people still exist," she said. Michael smiled. "My mother used to say that kindness costs nothing." Eleanor nodded thoughtfully. "Sometimes it's worth more than people realize." They parted ways, and Michael assumed he would never see her again. The next morning, life returned to normal. Or so he thought. 3 days later, Michael was called into his manager's office at the warehouse. His manager looked nervous. "Michael, there's someone here asking for you." When Michael entered the conference room, he nearly stopped breathing. Sitting at the table was Eleanor. Except this time she wasn't wearing an old coat. She was dressed elegantly and surrounded by several assistants. Michael looked confused. Eleanor smiled warmly. "Hello again." One of the assistants handed Michael a magazine. His eyes widened. The cover featured Eleanor Bennett, founder and CEO of a billion-dollar technology company. Michael stared at the photograph and then back at the woman. You're Eleanor Bennett?" She laughed softly. "Yes." Michael couldn't believe it. He had heard her company's name many times. She was one of the most successful business leaders in the country. But why were you dressed like that? Eleanor leaned back. Every few months, I spend time traveling without security or luxury. It helps me see how people truly treat others when they think nobody important is watching. Michael sat quietly. Then Eleanor continued. Most people ignored me. Some treated me badly. But you didn't. Michael shrugged. You seemed like someone who needed kindness. Exactly, Eleanor said. And that's why I'm here. She explained that after meeting him, she had researched his background. She learned about his military service, his devotion to Emma, and the hardships he had overcome. The more she learned, the more impressed she became. You represent the kind of character this country needs more of, she told him. Then she offered him something completely unexpected. Her company was launching a veterans outreach program designed to help former service members find careers and support their families. She wanted Michael to lead it. The position paid nearly 3 times his current salary. Michael was speechless. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it, Eleanor replied with a smile. That evening, Michael sat at the kitchen table with Emma. When he explained everything, Emma's eyes grew wide. Does this mean we'll have more time together? Michael felt tears forming. Yes, sweetheart. I think it does. A few weeks later, he accepted the position. The job transformed his life. For the first time in years, he no longer worried about paying every bill. He could attend Emma's school events without sacrificing work hours. He helped hundreds of veterans find employment, housing, and support. But what made him happiest wasn't the salary. It was the opportunity to help others. Years later, the Veterans Program became one of the most successful charitable initiatives in the country. During an award ceremony, a reporter asked Eleanor why she had chosen Michael to lead it. Her answer was simple. Because character matters more than credentials. I saw a man stand up for a stranger when nobody was watching. That's the kind of leader people trust. Michael never forgot those words. And neither did Emma. As she grew older, she often shared the story with her friends. Not because her father received a great opportunity, but because one small act of kindness created a ripple effect that changed countless lives. The truth is, we never know what someone else is going through. The person standing next to us in line could be carrying invisible pain. The stranger sitting alone might need encouragement more than we realize. Kindness isn't about rewards. It's about choosing compassion when it's easier to walk away. Yet sometimes, kindness has a way of coming back in ways we never expect. Michael didn't stand up for Eleanor because she was a billionaire. He stood up because it was the right thing to do. And that simple choice changed everything. If this story touched your heart, remember this: every day gives us a chance to make someone's life a little brighter. A kind word, a helping hand, or a moment of courage can create a ripple that travels farther than we can imagine. No act of kindness is ever too small. And just like Michael discovered, the kindness you give today may become the hope that changes someone's tomorrow. Thank you for watching Heartline Stories. Until next time, keep choosing kindness, keep believing in people, and keep spreading light wherever you go.